Imagine being told that who you are is not just wrong, but a sickness that must be cured. Imagine a world where your very identity was seen as a problem to be fixed. For many LGBTQ plus individuals, this wasn't a nightmare, it was reality. In today's video, we unravel the chilling history of gay cures, the methods, the people, and the devastating consequences. Stay with me as we uncover the truth behind this dark chapter in human history. The story begins in the late 19th century. As psychiatry emerged as a formal discipline, homosexuality was pathologized, classified as a mental disorder. Doctors and scientists of the time sought to understand human sexuality, but their views were steeped in cultural and religious bias. In 1886, Richard von Krafft-Ebing described homosexuality as a perversion in his groundbreaking but flawed work, Psychopathia Sexualis. This text influenced medical thought for decades, framing LGBTQ plus identities as conditions to be treated. In the early 20th century, the quest for a cure intensified. Doctors experimented with a variety of treatments, including hormone injections, hypnosis, and even surgical interventions. One method involved injecting patients with testosterone or estrogen, under the false belief that imbalances in hormones cause homosexuality. These treatments were invasive and ineffective, often leaving patients traumatized. Sigmund Freud, often called the father of psychoanalysis, had a complex relationship with homosexuality. While he viewed it as a deviation, he also argued that it was not something to be cured. In a famous letter to a concerned mother, Freud wrote, "It is nothing to be ashamed of. It cannot be classified as an illness." However, other psychoanalysts weren't as progressive. Freud's theories were weaponized to justify invasive therapies, including long-term talk therapy aimed at changing same-sex attraction. The mid-20th century saw the rise of aversion therapy. Institutions worldwide began using this method to treat homosexuality. The process? Brutal. Patients were shown homoerotic images and subjected to physical pain, electric shocks, nausea-inducing drugs, or worse. One infamous study at the University of Birmingham subjected young men to repeated shocks while exposing them to same-sex imagery. The goal was to associate their attraction with pain. The result? Deep psychological trauma. As one survivor later recounted, "They didn't cure me, they broke me." One of the most tragic cases is that of Alan Turing. Convicted for his homosexuality, Turing was sentenced to chemical castration, a horrific punishment involving hormone injections to suppress his libido. The psychological toll was devastating, leading to his untimely death. As aversion therapy fell out of favor, conversion therapy gained traction, particularly within religious communities. These programs claimed to correct homosexuality through prayer, counseling, and behavioral conditioning. Exodus International, one of the largest conversion therapy organizations, became a symbol of this movement. But behind closed doors, survivors endured shame, fear, and lasting harm. One survivor shared, "They told me my identity was unacceptable unless I changed. It left me broken for years." By the 1990s, the tide began to turn. LGBTQ plus activists demanded change, pushing back against harmful practices. In 1973, the American Psychiatric Association removed homosexuality from its list of mental disorders, a monumental victory. Over time, laws banning conversion therapy gained traction worldwide. Yet in many places, these practices persist under new guises. Survivors of these therapies are no longer silent. Their stories fuel movements to ban conversion therapy and educate the public. Peter Price, a survivor of 1970s aversion therapy, now advocates globally, ensuring no one else endures what he did. Today, while many countries have banned conversion therapy, it still persists in parts of the world. In the United States, several states have outlawed these practices for minors, but many others allow them to continue under the guise of religious counseling or therapy. Globally, conversion therapy is often disguised as talk therapy or prayer-based interventions, causing lasting harm despite appearing less extreme than the methods of the past. Online platforms have also become a new space for promoting these harmful ideologies. The scientific consensus is clear. These so-called therapies don't work and cause profound psychological damage. Yet resistance grows stronger every day. Survivors are speaking out, advocacy groups are driving change, and more countries are enacting bans. Thank you for joining me on this journey through history. If you found this video meaningful, please like, subscribe, and share.